Hello and welcome to the first gameplay video of Grand Tactician, the Civil War 1861 to 1865. We're currently riding with General McDowell and his army of northeastern Virginia. It's July 21st, 1861, 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's the Battle of Bull Run, the first major battle in the American Civil War. Before we start the actual battle, let's take a look at the situation, and the best way to do so is to zoom out and take a look at the map. As you can see, we decided to go against the normal mini-map. Instead, we have this full screen historical hand-drawn map, which shows the full situation of your army, and also on the map you can see objectives and entry points. Entry points are basically the roads and routes that units can use to enter the battlefield or withdraw from the battlefield. Playing as the Union, my army under General McDowell is deployed here. We set out from Washington DC, and the first units reached the area a couple of days back, and Colonel Richardson, deployed here near Blackburn's Ford, has actually been engaged already with Longstreet. There was a small skirmish, and this is how we learned that the fords and crossings over Bull Run are manned by the enemy. Because of this, McDowell decided that instead of a head-on attack, it's better to try to turn the enemy flank, and they're trying to do it here from the north and strike the rebel left flank in this area. 8 o'clock in the morning, the main flanking columns here are already reaching Sudley Springs, and historically they started fording the Sudley Fords about 9:30 in the morning. So we have two divisions here. Hunter's 2nd Division. Then we have Heinzelman and 3rd Division. And guarding the Warrenton Turnpike and the Stonebridge area is Brigadier General Daniel Tyler with the 1st Division, with one brigade, which is Richardson's brigade, and the accompanying artillery detached. Further back in Centreville, we have the 5th Division under Dixon S. Miles, and guarding the army's rear is Runion with the 4th Division volunteers and militia. They're off the map. Now let's take a closer look at our army, and the easiest way to do that is to take a look at the order of battle, which can be accessed here with the OOB button. So this is the order of battle of Army of the Northeastern Virginia. In this window you can select the units, and by double clicking you can show the unit close up. McDowell has a bit under 30,000 men in this battle. They're deployed in 5 divisions, and then we have Richardson's brigade with the artillery detached from Tyler's division. And for example, Tyler's division has 3 brigades with the artillery. So you have Keyes here, Schenck, and William T. Sherman. In this window you can select the unit, and with the double click it takes you to the unit. So let's take a closer look at Tyler's division. Tyler himself is here, marked with this NATO symbol, and you can see these lines connecting him with his subordinate brigades and units. The dotted line here leads to the army commander, and the line is dotted because they are currently so far away from each other that they're considered being out of range. From the 1st Division commander, you can see 2 range radius. The further one is the command radius. So every unit inside that area is considered to be well under command of Tyler, and they are easily reachable by couriers, and the order delay is thus smaller. The inner circle is the bugle radius, and if the unit is inside this radius, it's quicker to give commands to them, as some of the orders can be given via bugle as a sound signal, and then you don't need the courier, which will of course take more time. Okay, let's select the 1st brigade here, for example. Here on the left you have the unit panel with the information about the said unit. Here you can see that the 1st brigade is commanded by Colonel Erasmus D. Keyes and has some 2,500 men. The morale is currently confident. Here you have the weapon information. They are armed with the Springfield musket, which is a smoothbore weapon, quite inaccurate and has short range. And the weapon is armed with the bayonet. Other information for the unit you can see here is the basic load of ammunition, which is 60. Then you have the hand-to-hand combat status here. Cover. Currently the unit is in the open, so it's not in cover, it's idle. And here, on the line with the situation, you have these small icons which tell the situation of the unit. It's marked with colors, so the green ones are positive effects, like being near the commander, and the red ones are negative ones. For example, this is the unit's first time in battle, like it's actually on this map for all units. And these are the 3-month volunteers with little to none training, so their morale will be capped and they're more fragile than veterans. Then you have the cohesion of the unit. Currently, because they're here deployed in the woods, the cohesion of the unit is broken. The lines are not straight and it's not possible to trace the lines. It will affect the combat ability of the unit. Then you have fatigue, which of course is how tired the men in the unit are. And this affects, of course, combat performance of the unit. Then you have training, which means how well drilled the men are. And these men are basically untrained, not very well prepared for actual combat. And this, for example, means that the unit suffers from bad cohesion, and fatigue will rise faster because the men are not accustomed to the hardship of war. On this panel, you have these arrows pointing up, down, left, and right. You can browse the units within the same command, or move one step up in the order of battle, in this case the division commander, or down here. And here we are back with the flanking column with Brigadier General Hunter and his 2nd Division in the lead. As you can see, when you select the unit, the weapon range is shown with this orange cone, and there's also this dotted line inside, which is the preferred engagement range for the said unit. In this case, Burnside has been ordered to use the medium engagement range. You can also change it from here. So if you want the unit to engage enemy at long range or short range, you can select it here. And if you want them to be aggressive and charge, you can use the charge order, which orders the fixed bayonets, and then they will fire only one volley from very close range and then charge into melee. And of course the difference here is that weapon accuracy at long ranges, especially with these untrained troops, is quite poor. So it could be a waste of ammunition firing at the maximum range. So let's keep the medium range here. Selecting the artillery, you have Captain Griffin's 12 guns here. And they have a lot longer range, as can be seen here. And the short range here marked with the dots is the canister range for the weapon. They're armed with the 14-pounder James rifle, as you can see here. Okay, now I have started the actual battle, and as you can see, the map is now a bit darker. This is because the fog of war is currently on. It means that the lighter area shown here is what your units can see, and the enemies outside it are hidden. And okay, let's start planning. Start with the flanking column here. Let's start by giving orders to the second division under Hunter. And with this order, we can at the same time see how the order delay system works and how the movement order is given. Okay, so I want these guys to move past Saddler Springs, ford the Bull Run, and take positions on this side and support Heinzelmann's move across the river. So giving a basic order, movement order, just right click on the terrain, hold, and point to the direction you want them to face at the destination. And when you release right mouse button, you have some extra possibilities here, like movement at signal or timed movement. And these are the quick movement orders, and we come back to those later. Okay, so now the order is going to be given. The game is still paused. And when we go to the unit and click play, you can see here that the line from McDowell to Hunter is now this arrow. It means order is being delivered. First, it takes, of course, some time to actually create the order. So McDowell will have to write the order, give it to the courier, and then the courier is moved to Hunter's position. And here he goes. And when the courier reaches Hunter, of course, Hunter will write his own orders and give them to his subordinates. And once the orders are distributed, the formation will start moving like that. And as you can hear, there's some bugle signals being played and the units start moving. Okay, so here we see Hunter's division moving with the cavalry screening and the rest of the unit marching in column. It will take some time for them to get to position. So let's go to Heinzelmann and the 3rd division here. And let's give them order to also move to the other side of Bull Run, near the unfinished railroad, for example, where the second Battle of Manassas was fought. And giving the order here, you can see the units seeking automatically covered positions near the fences and the roads. And for them, let's give a timed order. So move at time, and let's start, for example, 9 o'clock sharp. Like that. Accept. And now, going back to the unit, You can see these clock symbols with the time. So now the orders are being distributed, as you can see from the lines, but they will start their movement at 9 o'clock, not before. So now we have some time for Hunter to move up ahead, reconnoiter the fords, and deploy to the other side. Okay, now they're ready. The orders are distributed, but they're not moving yet. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the army. Here for Tyler, let's use them to attack the Stonebridge area and the farm ford, but we don't want them to do that just yet. Let's give them order to this area with the move at signal order type. This means that the orders from McDowell will be distributed to this unit, and they will prepare to move out. As you can see here, you will see these buttons. This means that clicking the button will give them the ordered signal to move to the area. We will use that later on when we have our army on the other side of Bull Run. Okay, as you can see here, Hunter is still fording at Sudley Springs. It's 8:52, and to speed things up a bit, we can accelerate time, let's say 10 times, and then you can see the units moving a bit quicker to their positions. And now it's 9 o'clock. You should see here that Heinzelmann is starting to move, and that's exactly what they're doing. My first objective I'm going to attack is Matthews Hill, and I will use Hunter's division for that. And historically, this is actually what happened, and against them was Evans' brigade with a couple of guns in support. But of course, in this battle, it could be that the AI is doing something totally different. Let's see. Now we can use, for example, the cavalry as a scout. Let's detach them. This means that next time I'm giving order the 2nd Brigade, the cavalry unit will not receive these orders because it's acting independently. So once detached, I will use them to scout the area here and use the infantry to advance along this road towards Matthews Hill. Let's accelerate the time. No need. Okay, so the dotted line tells that okay, they are now detached, and we can use them to scout here. With the rest of the division, which is the artillery, and here Porter and Burnside, I'm going to push along that road. Here. And see whether the enemy is deployed on Matthews Hill. Let's move out whenever ready. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. As you can see, the first troops have arrived here at Matthews Hill, and we see the first enemy, which is the 7th Brigade, and this should be the Evans Brigade, and I'm starting to deploy my troops for combat. Even if this division is not currently under AI control, I have not set a stance for it, they will stop automatically and will not march into enemy to get slaughtered, so the AI will help that much. So let's take hunter here. And let's order the men to attack this location. And again, as soon as they're ready. And again, you can see the order being given by McDowell, and it will take again some time for the courier to arrive and order Hunter's division forward after the contact with the Evans Brigade. Then we have cavalry here on the left. Let's order them forward a bit, take a look what's behind here. And soon the next thing we're preparing to do is to use Tyler's units here to move, take the stone bridge to support the attack we're having here. And for example, Heinzelmann is still on the move, same with McDowell, and they're deploying here on the unfinished railroad. Like you can see, it's 10:23. So it's been over 2 hours, and this is as far as we've gotten so far. Because of the bad training and the weather, the men are already very tired. So small movement done, and the flanking movement has tired the men down. So this means that when in contact, the men will be quite tired already. We need to take this into consideration when attacking 7th Brigade here at the foot of Matthews Hill. I think we don't have any other contacts yet. Okay, now we're moving again with the Burnside taking the lead. That's actually what happened in the real battle. Burnside engaging 7th Brigade. It seems to be that we are accidentally playing by history here. Let's accelerate a bit. Have the men march forward. Like you can see here, the enemy is not yet within the ordered engagement range, and it looks like it's the same with the enemy. So even though they are within range, we are not yet firing. We'll want the artillery, which is the 2nd Division artillery here, to start firing first and to soften the enemy up before moving in with the Burnside and Porter supporting. Here I will show you also one other control, which is quite handy. Okay, artillery is firing. Yeah, there we have some Confederate artillery. As you can see, the first round was not close, so they're still zeroing in. Another control I'm showing you now is how to link units. It's basically ordering the unit to follow the lead of another unit. So we want 1st Brigade to deploy the right side of 2nd Brigade, and when I move 2nd Brigade I want them to follow. So let's use the linking. So as you can see, the cursor turns into this link. Right click, and then you can decide where to link. I want them on the right side, and now they will move here on the right side of Burnside Brigade, and when I order Burnside forward, they will follow on the right side and keeping distance. Okay, so the artillery is already engaging. Let's see here. And the enemy artillery is firing back. Again, it takes some time to deploy. Let's take a look at Heinzelmann. What's their status? Okay, they're starting to get ready here. Let's order them forward. Let's order them follow Palmer's cavalry here. Okay, so move there, take position, and move as soon as ready. And let's accelerate time a bit. You can see Porter's brigade here moving to their destination, and because they're now linked to the brigade, you can see this chain symbol here indicating that. Okay, it's 11:20, and I'm going to start the attack now. With 2nd Brigade, let's push forward here using the advance order. This means the unit will move forward, and as soon as ready they will start firing, and they will move and fire at the enemy at the same time. Again, bugle signals given, and you can see Porter on the right side will also follow lead and move forward. Now I think it's a good time to start concentrating on the enemy battery, but like you can see, it's now hidden again with the fog of war, possibly due to this smoke here, so we don't see their location just now. Let's wait a bit. And if we want to take a good overall look, we can move to the map. And here you can hear the booming of the guns from the distance, and also you can hear that rifles are being fired. And let's order one of the units here forward. Give a signal, and brigade of Keys will be moving forward. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, as you can see here, the unit is occasionally not shown. This means that the smoke is so obscuring here that we cannot see the enemy, and the firing is inaccurate at best. Let's order the artillery here to concentrate fire on the enemy artillery. Yes, and you can see the bombs exploding in air. Looks like the Evans boys have had enough. Now running for it. So with Burnside and Porter, let's move forward and take the defense position here. So they will, as you can see, they will automatically deploy to the cover of the fence. Let's go. Taking a look at the overall situation now, you can see we have one brigade moving closer to Farmford. Then we have Hunters, a brigade here with 61 losses. They have secured Matthews Hill, and the enemy was broken and they have retreated. And then we have the guns near Robinson House here. And we have Heinzelmann moving here, closer this area on the left side of Hunter. And then I think we will use these two divisions to start the attack towards Henry Hill. What we can do here with Richardson, and then we have Miles division, which was historically not used. They were reserve all the time. I think we can move them a bit forward, closer to Blackburn's forward here, and Richardson a bit forward to reconnoiter, and also to bring up the guns. Now you can see that a distance to army commander who is riding here along with the flanking column is very long. So it will take a lot of time for the order to arrive to the units here on the left flank. The couriers need to take a long route here. But it will get done with the time. Okay, Heinzelmann is moving. Hunter is still engaged. And let's order rest of Tyler's division forward as well, because it looks like a Stonebridge area is not guarded by the enemy. I think before the enemy manages to reinforce this area, I will move the brigades a bit forward. Put them here near the fence. As soon as you're ready, let's first break the link with Burnside like that, and then Burnside take positions near this Young's branch, and we have the artillery already engaging, so it's good support there. Orders arriving and troops starting to move. It's the situation with the 1st Brigade. Okay, they have suffered no losses, very well. I think it's Burnside who has taken 61 losses in this division, but they're still advancing and they're confident, so no problem. But the question remains, where is the rebel army? And here we have a good view of Henry Hill from Hunter's division units. So let's use 1st Brigade here to deploy some skirmishers and also move forward to Henry Hill to see if it's occupied. So let's go to Porter and click skirmishers. So now they're deploying skirmishers, which automatically are linked to the front of the unit. Use them independently. Let's break the link like that, and then give them movement order towards Henry Hill. Let's go. Here we have Burnside's men marching closer to the battery, which looks like it's going to be annihilated by our own artillery fire quite soon. Now they're within range, so we can use long range for them. And order Burnside to engage these guys. With Matthews Hill taken and my troops approaching Henry Hill, it will surely be a great Union victory. Thank you for watching the video, and there will be more gameplay videos coming later.